Welcome to this video for the final round of the candidates tournament. And yeah, okay, we already have a winner in this event, so it's not about any suspension anymore about first place, but there's still some games to be played in this final round. And this video is about the game Mamedyarov Kramnik. Both players are on 50%, if I'm not mistaken. Kramnik had beaten Topalov in the penultimate round and certainly got in some kind of revenge. And yeah, still it's not a good event for him, and he probably is glad that it's over. But okay, let's look at this game. Alright, so we got the Nimzo, and Mamedyarov had played the Nimzo 2 times with white already, with white. With white already? Had a bit of a strange sentence, but it's already late here when I'm recording, so I'm sorry for that. Yeah, he had played the white side of the Nimzo 2 times and had played f3 both times, beating Aronian in a very important game for the overall development of this tournament. And he had played f3 to draw against Kayakin in a very sharp game. This time, however, he's going for Queen c2, which is, of course, a somewhat more solid line. f3 is arguably one of the sharpest continuations. Queen c2 obviously has the idea to get this type of position where white has not been settled with double pawns. It's only the queen that needed to move like 2 times plus a3, so white has lost quite some time to achieve this goal. And it's exactly this development lack that gives black chances. Kramnik plays d5, and this is his trademark move. He has made this his main weapon against the Nimzo for a number of years now, and it already had been played in this tournament, this position, in round 1. He got this against Andreikin, and exactly this happened in the Andreikin-Kramnik game. However, in this position, after Queen d7, Andreikin played the move Queen c2, and we got very long theoretical discussion in this game, which at the end ended in a draw. White took later, played queen to e4, and went to the king side. Mamedyarov, however, after some thought, exchanged on d7. A bit weird. Maybe he had somehow, I don't know, forgotten his preparation or confused something. Hard to tell. But what we get now is, yeah, absolutely nothing for white. The capture, knight bd7. Black is almost fully developed now and is ready to put a rook on the c file and play c5 like that, or rook c8 and c5. This is the only thing that black still needs to solve. He has a potentially problematic backward c pawn, and if he manages to exchange that for the d4 pawn, it's a complete equality. Also note that the bishop on a6 is nicely placed, so that the development is not so easy for white. Let's say if white goes like g3, bishop g2, there's always e2 hanging. White is going for this capture, which looks looks very tame to give up the bishop like that. But I think he wanted to get e5 for the knight. This was the idea, to play with e3. And in this position, in fact, it is interesting that Kramnik played bishop to b7, which is probably a very precise move. If you take, after rook takes, rook c8, rook c1, it's not 100% clear that black can equalize. I mean, he's obviously very close to being equal, but it's not clear if it is a complete equality. If you want to check some lines, let's say black goes c5, white will capture, and yeah, how do you actually get it back now? One idea could be knight to d7, but here they go. Here there is c6, and you cannot go here. The knight does not have any decent square. If you look at this, white will probably get some play against the c-pawn. There's always this potential idea. We will probably start with something like that. That's also not entirely equal, or this type of structure. The knight coming here is also slightly more comfortable. He went to b7, and this has one important point. If you look at this now, rook c1, rook c8, knight e5, white, in order to get developed, would need to move the bishop, and this is just somewhat quicker in comparison with the other position. Now something like knight e2, well, there's g2 hanging. Bishop b7 is just a bit more precise. It does not help white to connect the rooks quickly. So bishop b7 is better. Rook c1, rook c8, and knight e5 played. Yeah, this is directed against knight d7, but black can prepare that. Rook d8, f3. Yeah, this is the problem. This bishop, on a move like that, black is just going to take it. So f3. Yeah, and now we get this c5 break in. Takes, and knight d7. Again, very precise. Black is not even getting a weak pawn now. Takes, takes. And now e4 is played. Yeah, white can also try to start with b4, but this pawn is... I mean, white will not keep the pawn, of course. It's even... white needs to be a bit precise to not be worse, as he's really behind in development. But after e4, rook king f8, now b4. This was played, and after these moves, yeah, they need to put some more moves on the board, because they can only agree after 30 moves. And here they actually did agree to a draw. Yeah, this is of course a bit of a non-game, but it still contains a slight point. This bishop b7 move. It's not rocket science, I understand, but even if you think that, okay, white is playing a very unambitious kind of setup, yeah, that's maybe true, but still, if you take here, you might get into a position that that just a bit suffering, and bishop b7 is just more precise. After that, it's completely equal. Maybe Mamedyarov was just trying to set this little problem, and said that, okay, I'm trying to test him in this way. If he goes with the capture, I might have a little something, and if he plays precisely, it's going to be a draw. And well, wrapping up this event on 50% is not what both players had imagined, but yeah, well, you're not going to... It does not make lots of sense to risk it all here and even get back to a minus score. So a draw to finish this tournament. Mamedyarov and Kramnik both finish on 50%, which for Kramnik is certainly a disappointment. He made many, yeah, you can almost call it blunders, really, which totally untypical of his play. So he will be certainly analyzing and trying to figure out what was going on there. He certainly is able to do much better. Yeah, Mamedyarov also, it became apparent in lots of games that he had put in really a good amount of work. He had some games where you basically you felt that he was very well prepared, but maybe the crucial moment was the first in the first leg of the tournament in round 7, when those two players, Mamedyarov and Kramnik, met. Mamedyarov had a winning position with black against Kramnik. This would have given Mamedyarov a +1 score. After he had lost 2 games early, he would have completed a great comeback, and this was maybe the the make or break point of this tournament. For Kramnik, it certainly was the loss against Topalov, which was a bit, not a bit, quite shocking for him, I guess, because it also was such a drastic loss without really getting on the board. Okay, I still hope you enjoyed the brief coverage of this game. It might help you if you play this line of the Nimzo, but other than that, I understand there have been more interesting games for sure. Okay, thanks for watching.